Hello and a very warm welcome back to the garden, and I've got a rain gutter here of peas, a rain gutter method made famous by Jeff Hamilton, and it's just the most fantastic way of growing peas. And in this video I'm going to show you the simple, no-nonsense guide to growing peas. And the best thing about peas is that not only are they easy to grow, and you can grow them in containers as well, but they're also perhaps the most delicious thing you can grow. So stay tuned. The first thing you need to do when growing peas is to actually sow them, and you can start from March through towards the end of May, even into June if you're in a warmer area. And there are two main ways of sowing. Now personally, I never sow direct into the soil because I have mice and vermin issues. So instead, I either use a rain gutter method or I multi-sow them in containers like this. Around 2, 3, possibly even 4 pea seeds per module, and let them grow. And here for the rain gutter, around 1 inch spacing, so 2.5, 3 centimeter spacings, I put a diagonal row of 3 pea seeds, and then cover pea seeds with around 2 centimeters of compost. Keep them well watered and let them grow until they get to about this stage. So they're reaching around 3 inches, so 7 centimeters in height, and these are ready to go in the ground. I love the rain gutter method because firstly, finding an old rain gutter isn't too hard, and it is perhaps the most satisfying part of the gardening year, transferring these peas into the ground, and I'm going to show you how that's done. I'm going to start by making a trench. I'm going to be using a hoe for this, but you can get by with a small spade, and you want it around the same depth as a gutter. The reason why it looks like an L shape is because I'm doing a different project. This will be done later on, where I'm going to build another frame, and the idea is that it's going to cast shade from the sun and make this a cooler area, which is going to be perfect for salads, but you'll see that in a different video. So I'll just move this slightly out of the way, and I'm happy with how this is going to be. So I'm just going to move this across and begin with the trench. Now, because this raised bed is on a slight downward slope, I'm going to pull downwards so gravity can help me. So the trench is ready, and I'm now going to place it down here, and then in theory it's going to slide out, but the easiest way to help it out is to shake it, so you can see how it's been, and we'll just tidy it up once it's finished, but you can see how it's being transplanted. You can just do a bit of a tidy, and it's important that the pea plants stay fairly close to one another, because there's no point putting a pea here and there. You're not going to get a good crop. You want to have lots of peas growing up together. So I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. The next thing is just to come in, bring the sides in and firm them. And note that I've got a bit of space either side so I can put a structure in, which we'll come on to next. Now, if it's really dry, you might want to give these a really good soaking. Otherwise, don't worry about giving them a water for the time being. Once you've transplanted the peas, the next thing is to make a structure, and there's a few options. You can make a simple wigwam, but I don't think that this maximizes the productivity because there's less space for fruiting and flying right at the top. So instead, I like to make an A-frame, but you've got to be aware about how high your peas grow, because you might have a dwarf pea variety, I think like Meteor, where you don't actually really need to make a structure, just stick some sticks in the ground for them to grow up. But this variety is called Alderman's, and this grows around 5 foot high. So my canes are just below 6 foot 180 centimetres, so around 30 centimetres a foot will go in the ground, and then I have the 5 foot or 150 centimetres for them to grow up. And I'm just using bamboo canes, but you can use things like hazel sticks or bits of willow, for example. Just be warned that the willow may root. And then the idea is to just create the A-frame. So start right at the end, a little bit in front of these, push them down hard, and then you're going to see that this will cross here, but I'm not going to worry about that yet. All I've got to do now is at around half a foot spacing, maybe a little bit more, 20 centimetre spacings, I'll put another 2 bamboo canes on each side. And make sure when you put them in, you give them one final push like that, because you want these to be nice and strong, so if it is windy you want them to hold up. And then I've got to the end of the row, so cap it off with one final double bamboo row. And now it's time to put the bit of bamboo that will go across, and then we'll start tying it in. I've got a longer bit of bamboo here, or you can just use a longer stick, and I'm going to see how long this is, and because this is going to be the top piece, I know how long I need to cut it. So give it a bit of overhang so you have a bit of manoeuvrability. I'm going to cut it there. To finish off the frame, you want to take the 2 end bits, slot them over like that, and then the other bit of bamboo will just slot inside there and tie it together. So tie it to roughly where it is. It will spring back just for now, but it's going to help hold the 2 together for when you get the other bit. So I'll do that and then grab this bit. And now I'm going to tie this bit to these 2. So now what I'm going to do is crisscross and work my way down, so I can then tie the bottom end in, and then it makes tying the middle a lot easier. Like that. So I'm going to tie this and then tie the rest, and that will be the frame done. So that's that end done. Now I've just got to tie the rest. If you want to make your piece structure that extra bit more stable, you can do what we're using here for our runner beam structure. And at either ends we have 3 bits of string nailed to the side of the raised bed, and it just gives that extra bit of support. But because the runner beam structure is a lot taller and also in a more exposed location, it's important that we just give that extra bit more sturdiness. The final thing that you need to do is to help the little peas climb on and find the bamboo, and it will take a few weeks, but they'll send out little tendrils. Now the great thing about peas is that you get 2 harvests. You get pea shoots as well, and I've cut this just above one of the leaves, so it will send out a new shoot, and tastes just like peas, and you can add it to your salads. But if you're prepared to wait around 3 months, you'll be harvesting peas from these. So this is just actually an old Christmas tree, and Christmas trees make excellent pea sticks, but you can use any kind of twig or branch, but this is just going to help the peas grow up, and then eventually they'll grow up the bamboo like this. If they're being a little bit naughty, you can help them along by actually tying string around the bamboo in kind of layers, and that'll just provide a little extra help if they're not too willing. I'm putting this kind of in the center between the rows, so both sides will help grow up. So the peas are in. The only thing you need to do now is wait just over 2 months, I'd say, from this stage to start harvesting the pods. And I've gone ahead and I have added the string just as extra support later on in the season, and it helps keep the whole frame nicely packed together. And so in knowing what to do between now and harvesting, all you need to do is make sure that initially the peas don't dry out, and you don't need to feed them. The only thing you need to do is just keep weeds down, and it's as simple as that. It couldn't be more easy. And when it comes to harvesting, the peas just need to be firm at touch, the pea pods, and hopefully you'll have a really good harvest this year of peas. So good luck and happy eating of the peas.